Hey everybody, it's Mike Cadieux, as you know, and I am super excited to introduce you to something really new and fresh in the Procurement Foundry world. We have, as you may or may not heard of already, started and launched an entirely new division around talent services called Foundry Talent. We have been testing this and talking to a lot of members recently about how best to do this and what problems there are and what we need to resolve. And we are thrilled now to officially launch this after working on it for at least 4 or 5 months. Let me introduce you to Matt Trembicki. Matt is the new leader of Foundry Talent. Matt, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background. We can run through what Foundry Talent is, why we did this, what the products and the services are, and how people can engage with us on a go-forward basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the introduction, and we're excited to kind of kick this off, formally, informally. But my background is really comes from the staffing and recruiting world. I spent about 10 years running, growing, expanding a staffing and recruiting practice, all within the technology and operations space. In a number of different industries. So financial services, biotech, biopharma. Which really, once again, expanded from the, Connecticut area where I started, ran our New York practice, and then, expanded it out, to clients really throughout the United States. Within that time, right, I saw a lot of what I think and called worked well, right, and I think were good practices. And then I saw a lot of things that I think, as we've talked and discussed about, things that didn't work so well, right, and things that I wanted to have the opportunity to fix, which I think with the service offering that we have now, I think we'll have the opportunity to do, which is really exciting.
Yeah. So what's the genesis of this? I'm sure people want to know why we started this, right? And I can tell you from my perspective why we started this. As the community started to grow up to 4,000 or 5,000 members, it became very, very apparent that we have a community of folks that are always looking for work, and we have a community of folks that are always looking for great talent. And now that we have this community, being able to match those people up and be able to create a win-win scenario for the people who are looking for talent and the people who are looking for jobs just became a natural fit for the Procurement Foundry community. And that's why we formalized it with Foundry Talent, right? I mean, we're just trying to, it's pretty obvious. It's neat out there. We're going to do it, right? We're bridging a gap.
Right. You have this entire community that's focused in a specific area, right? And we know that there's such a challenge in finding good talent and retaining good talent, right? We may as well leverage this, great community that you've built over the last 2.5 years.
Yeah. We're also trying to solve a couple of other problems, right? Like we know, for example, at least when I was a chief procurement officer, we know that we would hand off our job listings to HR, and HR would kind of look at us dumbfounded when we said we needed a specialist for X, Y, and Z category, or a supplier diversity inclusion person, or a vendor management person.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to leverage some of the expertise of the community as well in a completely unique model, right? I mean, can you tell everybody a little bit about? Let's start with this before we talk a little bit about the recruiting model and what we're doing. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that we've kind of taking a 3-tiered approach to Foundry Talent in the products that you're going to offer. Can you tell us a little bit about the 3 different products you're going to offer?
Yeah. And, I think that was another conversation about fixing, something that's broken. A lot of firms offer one service, right? They offer one piece of the, of the puzzle in the, talent management piece. And we decided, hey, let's have a 3-pronged approach, kind of a one-stop shop for everything that you're doing related to talent management and, retaining talent in a few different services. So, the 3 services that we're offering, one is our interactive job board, which I think we may have the ability to pull up and take a look at. It's a procurement and supply chain specific job board. We look at it as a way for clients to be able to essentially get positions out to a specific procurement and supply chain community. Another avenue to get a position out there, right? If you're posting on LinkedIn or Indeed or wherever else you're posting it, hey, that's great. You get it out to a huge candidate pool of thousands and thousands of people, right? Here's a way to get it to a community that's specific, right? And really kind of the entire idea around the Procurement Foundry community in general.
Right.
So that's one of our service offerings. The The second offering that we have is our called executive search service. And, we essentially, that is a contingency search service, right? You're having a tough time finding the right candidate for a role through HR or through, your own practices. And essentially we go out there with the team, find the right candidates and individuals. But I think different than what other, recruiting firms had done in the past, what I had seen more often than not, recruiting firms will just send you several resumes based on maybe a few keywords, may not have a full entire understanding of what the position is that they're recruiting on, and maybe just don't understand, have the depth of knowledge in procurement, right? So we take this extra step, leveraging a procurement Foundry member, right? An expert, in a specific area within procurement. Once the resumes are sourced, they then get to a procurement practitioner, our expert procurement practitioner, to further vet out their skills and abilities. And then they'll send, hey, the 5 candidates for a specific job, here's the 2 that you should talk to, and here's an assessment of their strengths and weaknesses based on the position that we talked about. So it's taking that extra level of, what do we think was broken? There's resumes that are kind of being flooded in without really a full vetting process. Here, the resumes get to the client, and you have a good understanding whether it's HR or the hiring manager directly. Here's where they really have strengths and weaknesses. It helps you have a more in-depth conversation, right? And you already kind of have a kickoff with their skills and abilities, and you don't have to do as much legwork, in the interview process. Right. So that's our second service that we offer, and it's been kicked as we've kicked it off over the last few months has gone pretty well. And then the third service that we're offering, that's in more of an alpha stage right now, but we're starting to roll it together and have kicked off the website, is our Ripple platform. That is for anything consulting services. So another thing that we kind of saw is that in this marketplace, right, there's a big emphasis on contingent labor. Right. There's a shortage in procurement on the full-time side, as you know, right. And the finding full-time talent was an issue even prior to COVID in this industry. And, consulting, finding a specialist or a practitioner for a shorter term project, or, to help you, negotiate an agreement for X amount of time is a, more of an urgent need more often than not nowadays. So we essentially spun up a platform that candidates who are either full-time consultants in a specific area or practitioner in procurement, or people who are just consulting on the side looking to maybe make a little bit more, call it side hustle cash.
Side hustle,
side hustle money, can post their position, post their background. We fully vet the candidates that go into the platform, and they say, hey, here's where I'm a 10 out of 10. Here's where here's where my skill set lies. They can market themselves, and then clients can go in there, describe the type of project that they're looking to take on, and then, kind of custom fit based on the candidates that we have within the platform. So almost like a bad analogy maybe, but like an Airbnb for, talent and consulting, services.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good analogy.
Yeah. So that's kind of our 3-pronged approach, right? We have the job board, we have the executive search function with that, practitioner layer, and then we have the consulting platform through Ripple. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot to digest. I think people are going to have to probably go back and listen to this again. I'm going to recap really quickly just my thoughts on the 3. So like I said, we've got a talent pool. We know that it's really easy for us to connect people up. We know that there's issues associated with the fact that there isn't enough talent to go around, and we know that internal HR isn't always the best person to lean on for expertise associated with procurement and supply chain. So we've come to market with 3 products. The job board is very simply, if you've got a job and you want to post it, as a hiring company, you can create a profile. We've got a number of different ways that you can do that, either one job, multiple jobs, full years, the whole thing. As a candidate, you can join as a candidate, have a profile on that job board, and create alerts against jobs. And it's outside of the metaverse of LinkedIn, where we all know that we're fighting the algorithm, and this is specific to our industry. And because we're attaching it with Procurement Foundry, we've obviously got so much traction early on. That's the first thing. The second thing, obviously, is this talent management idea. this talent management program where we're leveraging our internal resources. Who better to help us find candidates than experts inside of the Procurement Foundry in what I call the three-tiered approach to talent management, which is sourcing the candidates, reviewing the viability of their knowledge or vetting their knowledge base, and then helping with the actual onboarding with the clients that we have. That's for full-time FTE related work. And then we also know that there's also projects and consultancy related work that people need for immediate needs while they're potentially trying to help fill their full-time contracts, or just they've got somebody that went on maternity or something like that. And this real-time talent marketplace that we've partnered with Ripple on does that for us. If you're a subject matter expert and you want to create side hustle cash, or if you're running your own single shingle shop, you can put yourself into that, and based on the criteria, boom, you're going to be matched up. And if you have projects, you can go in as a project hiring person, put in some criteria associated with your project, and it matches the algorithm behind it, matches you up, helps build a statement of work. It's super, super exciting. Then Procurement Foundry jumps in and acts as the contracting agent between the two of them, right? That's essentially what we do.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think another thing that's important to mention too, as everyone in procurement is going to be excited to hear, is like, we noticed that the industry is also a high margin and high price industry as well. So we've taken a lot of efforts and steps to make things much more cost effective, right? Based on various projects and what you're looking for. We know the industry standards based on my background and based on yours. And getting feedback from specific clients, and have offered more competitive rates on the work that we're doing, which is another very important piece that I think people will want to know about.
Cool. So listen, we wanted to put something out here inside of the booth so that you could learn a little bit more about us. We certainly don't want you to spend all day inside of the procurement, inside of the Foundry Talent booth. However, we're excited that you came to it and took a listen. Please come back, listen to this again. Inside of the booth, there's some documentation that's downloadable against those three different product offerings. You can go to the job board at jobs.procurementfoundry.com. You can also go to foundrytalent.io, right? Where we're just launching our website. We also have Foundry Talent on LinkedIn. There's a website on LinkedIn. A page on LinkedIn for Foundry Talent about updates on that. You can follow us on that as well. And that's it. Matt, how do people get in touch with you if they need to get in touch with you? What email address are you going by these days?
Trembicki at foundrytalent.io.
Great. All right, everybody, get back to the conference. Enjoy your day. If you need talent-related services that we just outlined, please get in touch with Matt. We've got 10 or 12 active searches right now for talent. We're pushing stuff into the marketplace right now, and the job board is lighting up like a Christmas tree. So that's it for now. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Matt.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, guys. Bye.